All right, welcome. Today, we're diving into the often unseen forces that shape pretty much everything we do. We're digging into the core ideas from Robert Greene's The Concise Laws of Human Nature to figure out why people, and yeah, that includes us, act the way they do.
You know that feeling, right, when you're just completely baffled by something someone did? Or maybe, and this is a big one, you've even surprised yourself with a really intense reaction to something that seems so small? It can definitely feel like human behavior is just random and chaotic. But here's the thing. Robert Greene argues that our behavior isn't random at all. Way beneath the surface of our conscious actions, there are these powerful, hidden forces, basically primal instincts that got wired into us over thousands and thousands of years. Once you start to see these patterns, the world starts to make a whole lot more sense.
So, that brings us to this first huge idea. We're all kind of like actors in this giant, complex social drama. We're all trying to navigate this world of hidden rules, but nobody ever handed us the script. And this quote from Robert Greene just nails it. Human nature is stronger than any individual, than any institution or technological invention. It's such a powerful reminder that no matter how advanced we get, these deep-rooted patterns are the operating system that's still running the show.
Okay, so where do you even start with all of this? Well, Greene is super clear on this. The journey can't begin by analyzing everybody else. No, it has to start when you turn that microscope around and get real about your own irrationality. I mean, let's be honest. We all love to think of ourselves as these logical, rational people, right? But the law of irrationality shows us that our emotions are constantly pulling the strings behind the scenes, coloring how we see everything. Being truly rational, that's not our default setting. It's a skill, and a tough one at that has to be deliberately worked on. And our emotions have these predictable little tricks they play on us. There's confirmation bias, which keeps us trapped in our own echo chambers. You've got group bias, where we might just go along with an idea to feel like part of the team. And oh, the blame bias. It's so much easier to point the finger than to actually learn from our mistakes. Recognizing these is absolutely the first step to breaking free. The cool thing is, this isn't just some abstract theory. Greene gives us a really practical roadmap. First, you've got to recognize your own biases. Second, figure out what your emotional triggers are, what really sets you off. And third, start building in strategies that give you time to think instead of just reacting. You know, that simple pause before you hit send on an angry email? That's power. It's all about thinking, not just reacting. Okay, so once we get a better handle on our own messy, irrational minds, we can finally turn our focus outward. And that's when we can start to see past the carefully constructed masks that people wear every single day. Think about it. From the time we're kids, we all learn that to get along and be accepted, we have to play a certain role. We put on a mask for the world that shows us as confident, hardworking, and agreeable. But behind that mask, that's where the real feelings are. The insecurity, the envy, the doubt. The real danger is when we mistake the performance for the actual person. And this is where you can really see that gap between the mask and reality. So you see the mask, you hear the confident words, you see the polite smile, but the reality? That's in the tiny details they can't control. The confident words that come with a super tense body. The forced smile that's gone in a flash, but not before you see a flicker of contempt. Those nonverbal leaks tell the real story every single time.
So your job, really, is to become a better observer. Start paying attention to these little clues. Do they mirror your body language, or do they subtly turn away? Who's the one that's always interrupting in a conversation? The key is to always be on the lookout for that mismatch, when the words say one thing, but the body language is screaming something else entirely.
All right, so we're getting better at looking behind the mask. Now we can use that skill to tackle one of the most powerful and, frankly, most dangerous hidden forces in our social world, the fragile ego and all the envy that comes with it.
I mean, it's just human nature, right? We are comparison machines. It's unavoidable. But this constant comparing can easily turn into envy, which is this really destructive emotion that almost nobody ever admits to feeling. And that's what makes it so sneaky and dangerous. It usually operates in secret, disguised as friendship or even concern.
So how do you spot it? You look for that poisonous praise, that backhanded compliment that has a little bit of a sting, like, wow, I'm surprised you got that promotion. You listen for the subtle gossip that's disguised as concern. You know, I'm just worried about her. All this success seems to be really stressful. These are the classic signs that someone's ego is feeling a little threatened by your good news. Greene even breaks it down into these common archetypes you'll probably run into. You've got the leveler, who just can't stand to see anyone get too far ahead. Or the status fiend, who praises you to your face but is secretly just measuring themselves against you. Now, knowing these types isn't about getting paranoid, it's about being prepared and protecting your own well-being.
I know. A lot of this can sound pretty dark, maybe even a little cynical. But the whole point of this knowledge isn't to make you distrust everyone. It's actually the opposite. It's about becoming empowered, more empathetic, and just a smarter observer of this whole human experience.
And I absolutely love this quote because it totally reframes the whole process. You're not just being judgmental, you're being a detective. You're calmly piecing together the clues, the nonverbal cues, their past actions, their emotional reactions, to understand the full picture of a person, including the parts they try to keep hidden in the shadows.
So at the end of the day, what you walk away with is this incredible new toolkit. You become a calmer, more strategic observer. You get better at judging character and protecting yourself from toxic people. And here's the amazing paradox. By understanding people's hidden insecurities, you can actually develop deeper empathy and build much more authentic connections.
Look, we've barely even scratched the surface of all these hidden laws. So the real question I want to leave you with is this. Now that you know some of the rules of the game, what are you going to see differently when you go out into the world tomorrow?